Hello, hello, hello. Hi, how are you? I hope you are well. And if you are lucky to join me on the live session of it, thank you very much. And if you are not lucky, then you get to get this as a recording, and I thank God for it. So I hope you're well. I hope that you're doing fine with your family. This is one of those broadcasts that I had prepared for you to do for you this week about time as a factor. And I think we're just going to go right on it. Yeah, we're going to go right on it. At the end of it, I will upload the video on my YouTube channel. So if at all you don't get it on Facebook, you can always, check on our YouTube channel and, just learn with us, and don't forget to write your comment, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share the information that we're getting here, because basically all that I want us to get is to learn for the sake of our children, and to unlearn some things. And not like I know it all, but I am here just to help you as you help me. All right. So your comment will help me also to help myself. So don't hold back. All right. Don't hold back. Just give me your tips, give me your method that has worked for you, and let us also help one another. Thank you very much for that. So we're going to just go straight to our discussion today, and I just want us to share I want to share my screen with you so that maybe we can learn together as we continue. I hope that it's still there. Let's see. Is it coming on? Yep. Okay. Thank God it's there. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen with you. I hope it's coming. Great. There it is. And okay, good. So now, I don't know which one is better. Would you prefer seeing me more or listening to me more and seeing my screen? Whichever the case, there we go. We're going to just go right about that. So my name is Sarah Kibazo, and I'm your host. And actually for today, I just want us to talk more about time as a factor, and how time affects you when it comes to talking to your child regarding their sexuality. And there's my profile. I'm a born again Christian, and I'm a life coach, I'm a trainer, and I'm a mother, and I'm a wife too, and I'm also an entrepreneur. So that's all about me. That's all about me that I can say today. And so as we embark on talking on, time as a factor, I want us to maybe, I want to give you a perspective of what I have learned, what has worked for me over time, and what I'm practicing even at the moment. Okay, as a parent, and also as as a trainer. When we decide, or rather, when I decided to teach this program, I decided to do so because of the experience that I had, and also for the fact that the knowledge that I had gained, or rather let me say the new perspective that I had gained has helped me over time, and they have worked for me. So every tip that I give, in most cases, every training that I give, in most cases, there are things that I have tested, I have seen them working, and so when I give them out, I am confident that they're going to work for you. They're going to work for any other person. Yeah, because it's not only me. I have gotten them from somewhere, and wherever they've come from, they've also been tested and proven to work. So even for me, I tried them and they worked for me. And then I'm thinking, why don't I share it out? Why don't I share it out? So that's how actually my journey was born. So I want to go through to let you know about me a little bit, so that you can understand why I want to talk about time as a factor. And on this page, actually on that tab that I have just played, Well, it's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about how I grew up. And I grew up as a person who knew that working was the essence of being an adult. All right. Let me just get something else to, support me so that probably I may come closer, a little more closer to you. Yep. Great. I think that's better. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, sorry. All right. So for me, I grew up knowing that, working was the main essence of, being an adult. All right. So because that is the life that I lived, that is the life that I saw my parent living. They were ever busy parents. They were always out there trying to make end meet for us, and which was good. And my mom actually, she groomed us knowing that working is very important because we saw that in her. And we never used to be with our mom at all, at all, at all. Uh, or rather our parents, because there were this kind of people who would wake up very early in the morning and come back very late at night. So we never had kind of any relationship with them. And remember, now we are kids, so we are coming up, and that is the perspective that we are also getting. Okay, so for me, when I grew up, and I cleared high school, and I knew that working was the next thing. I have to find job and do and work. Okay, so definitely I got myself into the field. I started working out. And when I got my firstborn kid, my lifestyle was the same. I'm just working. I'm throughout there trying to make end meet. I'm working here and there. And that was how I knew life's supposed to be. All right. So when my daughter was about 8 years old, my firstborn daughter was about 8 years old, and the second one was around 5 years old. In one way or another, I couldn't get a house help. Okay, the way they'll just leave, and they'll just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm leaving. Yeah, so I couldn't go to work, so I had to stay home. So my staying at home prolonged over a period because now I was not getting someone else. Now, for the 8 years my daughter had grown, I had never been part of her life at all. I had never connected with her at all. I left her when she was 3 months old. And, here I am at 8 years is when now I'm realizing, oh, I have a kid. We had never connected. The only thing that was in my mind is to just provide for her, make sure she's going to a good school, make sure that she's she's dressing up well, she's getting the best toys and all that. But we never connected. I'm this parent who will just be available there on Sunday, and we go together to church. And then on that Sunday is when I'm being surprised, like, you know what? Oh, we are talking. Okay, people are talking. I'll just get surprised over the milestones. All right, and which I didn't even have enough time to look at, because that is the only Sunday I have, the only day that I have to rest. So we never connected much. And I remember one day my daughter came back from school, and she was like, you know what, mom, I don't want you to go back to work. Why don't you just stay with us? And it hit me like, okay, I stay with you. And remember, all this time I was staying with them for that period of time, I was ever yelling at them. I was ever yelling at them. I was ever seeing mistakes. They were just doing mistakes in my sight. And I was just easy to spank them. Yeah, it was so easy for me to spank them. And I realized, so here she is, she's asking me to stay at home with them. And here I am being this kind of a mom, I'm just cruel on them. Okay, that's the better word I would use for now. I was just cruel on them, for a small mistake, I would find a reason to punish them or something like that. And the same thing would apply to their dad. Okay, even their dad was never there, so we were all busy people. So we would just see mistakes, and I would see a mistake, and definitely I would tell the dad, and definitely they would, we will just punish them for whatever reason they had done. So we didn't have any kind of connection. I couldn't understand them. I couldn't come to their world at all. Okay. So how did time play a factor in my life? How did time translate that to an extent that I was able again to reconnect with them? It took time. Definitely, it took time. So, I want to talk about time as a factor in 5 aspects. All right. I want to talk about time as a factor in 5 aspects. And as we continue, I'm going to show you how, for me, these factors have really been something to consider. Okay. Let me just, maybe we can breathe in and out, take a cup of water, maybe, and, yeah, I think I placed it very far, but it's here. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, sometimes you can talk too much and you just want to to relieve yourself. So after some period of staying with my kids back at home, actually during that period I was also expecting our third born, so definitely it was um it was a good reason for me to be at home. At the same time, my life had always been at work. I had never connected with these kids. So when I talk about time as a factor, I'm talking about a healing period. I'm talking about a time for reconnection. I'm talking about age. Okay, I'll explain all that as we go on. And I'm talking about curiosity, and I'm talking about a reward. Okay, if at all I'll be able to record this video, I mean, and put it online, maybe on YouTube. Probably I'll divide it into sessions so that maybe it can upload properly. But if it won't be able to if it will be able to record properly and upload properly, well and good. Otherwise, if you find it in sessions, just you can just try and connect them and connect them. So there's a moment I realized that we couldn't even connect with my own daughter. Okay, and I needed time. Okay, I needed time to heal. Okay, I needed time to heal with her, and it didn't come overnight. It didn't come overnight like I thought, oh, now I need time to. No, it didn't come overnight. It came over a period of time. It came over a period of time. And as a parent, there comes a time when you realize that you're trying to raise your kid from your own background. Okay, you're trying to raise your kid from your own background. The way you look at a kid and you're like, why can't you just eat your food? I mean, why can't you just eat your food? And because according to you, food is supposed to be chewed and swallowed, and that's it. What else? So now that is now talking from your own perspective. But now when you look at your child as an individual, as someone else, you are able to connect to what maybe they are going through, or you're able to understand that, even if they're going through a certain kind of a situation, maybe both of you, maybe it's a loss of somebody in the family, and both of you are grieving. Definitely you're grieving at different levels. It is important to understand that his grieving part or their grieving part is totally different from your grieving part. Your experience of a certain kind of a challenge or a situation is totally different from their own experience. So when I talk about time as a healer, all right, what am I talking about? Okay, let's see my next clip. My next clip, I'm going to just share with you about this time being as a healer. It needs a time for you to find yourself. Okay, there's a point that you have to reach and find yourself so that you don't impose that self on your child. All right, and it's also important for you to find who are you, what is your purpose, where are you coming from, where are you going, so that you can be able to help your child also find their own purpose. All right. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it reached a point whereby I had to find myself so that I can be able to look for them, because I realized that at some point I lost it. At some point I had lost it. And all I was doing is impose the person that I think they should be on them. Okay, remember, I had no connection with them. I had not known them. 8 years had elapsed. I didn't know what my girl is turning out to be. I did not know what my 5-year-old is turning out to be. They're meeting me, and it's like we are strangers. Okay, the people whom were close to them, who are their house helps, were my house help. Actually, were the people who maybe had instilled some values into them over that period of time. But for me, I was dealing with them at a certain time. Just that Sunday, maybe for those 5 hours, and then we are done. Then again on Monday, we begin a different routine. So definitely it is important for me or you as a parent to get yourself. Find yourself first, find your purpose. And when you're able to find yourself, then you are going to realize that, you know what, your child is totally different from you. They're totally different from you. And if they're different from you, they are total individuals who need to be handled as that. Okay. And when you don't find yourself, that is when you're just imposing things on them. That is when now you tend you find yourself, you're conflicting all the time. You're conflicting all the time. And this aspect can hinder you to talk to your child when you need to talk to them regarding their sexuality or even regarding just their normal life. Okay. It will hinder you to do that because already you are having some kind of conflict. Another aspect of time as a healer, it is important for you to clarify your values. How do you clarify your values to your children? Okay, I give this kind of an example. When we were growing up, we were told, we used to know, or rather, we even knew that when an elder comes in, even if it's in a matatu, you have to stand and give them the seat. Or if maybe you're sitting somewhere and an elder pass. I don't know if you guys went through that. Maybe in the school compound and an elder and your teacher passes, you had to stand. You know, for us that was it. It was just, and it was in us. You know, and then now today you have your own kids. Okay, you had your own kids. Remember, that was a value that was passed to you. But now today you have your own kid. But it is hard for you to when you enter a matatu and someone else comes in and maybe misses a seat, or maybe the seat that they have gotten is too far. Okay, it's too far, and this is an elderly person. I think it would only be if it was a virtue for you. If it was a virtue for you, it would only be noble if you tell your kid who is sitting maybe in the front seat to go at the back, or even for you yourself to go at the back and let them, this elderly person to sit there. But nowadays, you know, you just look at it and you're like, oh, I mean, he's the one who was coming late, so he is going to go on the back seat or stand if there are no more seats. This means that the value that you had acquired that time, you didn't really, it wasn't really a value to you. Okay, it wasn't really a value to you, because if it was a value to you, then you'll pass it on. So it's reached a point that you need to clarify your values. What do you value? What do you uphold? Okay, as important things that you need your child to know and even pass to them. What is that? Okay, so it is important to clarify those values. When you don't clarify your values, you'll find that it is even hard for you to relay them to your kid, because you here you are, at one point you're telling them to be respectful, or even to be obedient, or you're here trying to tell them that you shouldn't abuse other people, or you shouldn't shout at other people, but here you are, you're shouting at them, okay, or you're doing these things at them. So what are you trying to do? You have a value that you have not clarified. And if you have not clarified it, then it is not easy for you to lay it down to them. Yeah. So you need that point. And it's only when you give yourself that time to be able to clarify your values, to lay them down, and so that you can help your child also to emulate. Because as I've been telling you in my previous trainings, that actually values are not taught. Values are things that are supposed to be learned. Okay, I mean, they're acquired. So our kids get values from what we do. All right. So when again do we need time? We need time when we have gone through maybe some past child abuse. You need time to heal. You need time to heal from all that. Because when you go through some kind of child abuse, you realize that you will find yourself being unable to talk to your child regarding their sexuality. You've not healed from that past. If you got this child maybe through a rape, or you got this child through an abuse, or maybe through a kind of rejection, you know, it will be hard for you to translate the love that is needed to this child. At some point, you'll find yourself maybe being resentful to this kid, and we have had those stories, we have seen them. And most of the time, not even most of the time, it is important for you to heal from that past. Okay, any kind of abuse, or you'll even find yourself being overprotective on that kid. And when you're being overprotective to your kid, that is when you won't be able even to talk to them. honestly, you need to be able to talk to them when it comes to their sexuality issues. Another issue of time is introduction to sex. How was sex introduced to you? These are things sometimes we try to ignore. We ignore how was sex introduced to us. Was it introduced to you as a sin? Was it introduced to you as maybe tabia mbaya, it was a bad manners, it was something bad, it was something shameful, it was introduced to you like that, and here you are, you've gotten into marriage, you're enjoying the same sex, and definitely it's not tabia mbaya, very well it's not, it's not sorry about that. Sorry about it. I think my internet is crazy. All right. So when time is when the introduction was done to you in a wrong way, the same way you will tend to introduce sexuality or other sex talks to your kids in the same way, like it is something shameful, it is a sin, it is bad manners. But imagine right now you have known the truth, that it is not actually bad manners, you have known that it is not shameful, you have known that it is not a sin when it is done in the right way and in the right place. But now you cannot relay the same thing to your kids because there is an aspect of sex that was introduced to you when you're young and you've never changed that aspect. You've never even think through it. So when you're coming to talk to your kids, you'll still come and talk to them telling them it is bad manners. Now look at this kid you're telling it is bad manners. This is a kid that is exposed to internet, is a kid that is playing to their, is have a lot of peers, have a lot of information. So what will happen? You will not give them facts. When you will not give them facts, they will not trust you. Okay. So and when now you want to build this trust and you want to tell them the real truth, but now the perspective that you have of sex is that wrong perspective, of which you've not worked on, then you will not be able to tell your kid what is what at what time. All right. And that is when I say that you need time to change that perspective, to find a way to introduce sex in the best way. Okay, you can introduce it. And I say again, you need time for reconnection. Okay, that is my point number 2. You need time for reconnection. Why do you need time for reconnection? As I've told you my story, I was far from my kids for a long time. We were never together. So at this point, I find myself that I have to be with them. I have to be there for them. I needed time to reconnect with them. Okay. Remember, all this time they have grown. They have grown. Definitely, she's not the 3-month-old baby that I left at home. She's now grown. And when she has grown to that kind of a level, I need time to reconnect with them. And so I need to consider the age. Okay, I need to consider the age. I need to consider the fact that let me just look at that my notes a little bit. The fact that these kids are a bit older, so definitely I'm not going to get into their life the same way I left them. Okay, I need to process our period of reconnection. I can't just impose things on them. I can't just impose my attitudes on them because time has gone. So I need time to reconnect with them slowly by slowly. I need to also consider the fact that this child is an individual. They have grown to a certain level. They're different individual. Probably this kid has been over in boarding school. Probably you've had to work in a far place, or maybe you in another country. So you're coming back to meet a kid who has already developed their own personality. Okay, so it is important to understand that this child is actually an individual. Okay, and you cannot just impose your own reasoning on them. It doesn't matter how old they are, even if they have turned 3 years and you left them at 1 year or something like that. You need time to reconnect with them. Because they have already grown up as individuals. I'll give you an example, like my 8-year-old kid. She's this kind of a person who is so detailed, and she is so reserved at the same time, and she's this a giver. She'll just give. She'll just give. And my second born is this kind of a person who is self-focused. Okay, giving out her things is not that easy. She'll have to find a reason why she has to give it out. Yeah. And for me, I'm thinking, if you're not using anything, you're supposed to give it out. And here I am. Oh, my firstborn would connect to that very easily, but my secondborn will need time to digest that. Where we can fight over it, yeah, and we would fight over it. But when I came to understand their individuality, because I was like, how comes you don't want to give and your sister is giving? But then when I came to realize, oh, these people are two different individuals, and definitely they're not like me. Me, I would give so easily. I just give so easily. But my firstborn, yes, she's a giver, but she would get the details. She wants to get the details. Why am I giving you? All right, okay. And she wants to get enough details, and even the things that she's giving, she would still try and figure out, this one I need it for this and that, I still need it, or I don't need it. But my second born, oh, she wouldn't even the aspect, the thought of giving it out, that one you have to wait. You need to mention it and leave it at that. Yeah, because she will take time to process over it. So it is, if I would come with my own, my own perspective, my own values from wherever, I just want to impose on them, connecting with them will be hard. So we will continue drawing apart and apart and apart. So the other aspect of reconnection is understanding that you have different values. Over that period of time, they have developed their own values, and you know what? You have your own values. So it is also important for you to understand that aspect. Recently, I had a case of a parent, and she was telling me that their son just came home and announced that, you know what, I'm a gay. Okay. And you're like, excuse me, I've been taking you to church, I've been teaching you this. I don't know. What's wrong with you? And that is when you realize that kids can have different values from the ones that you have. All right. And when you have been away from them for maybe a period of time, or maybe you not even probably you've just been with them, it is important for you to understand the different values that they're developing. Okay, the different values that they're developing, and you to connect with those values, and also be able to direct them. And this you can only do when you have already found your own purpose, and you are helping them to find their own purpose. Then it is easier for you to get into their life and give them direction. And it is good that you have that aspect in your mind, that my kids can have different values from me. So even if I want to talk to them about sexuality, I want to talk to them about matters regarding homosexuality, contraceptives, and all that, I need to understand what are the values that they already have. Yeah, there are values that I already have. And another aspect of reconnection is giving space. All right, it's giving space. Here you are, you want to get into your kid's life, and if you remember, there's a time I was for those of you who maybe interacted with me for a while, and you can still check on our YouTube channel, I have a video. I was talking about how to talk to boys, regarding their sexuality, and we realized that boys come to an age where they want a lot of space. They want just space. Yeah, there's a certain age they get, especially when they're getting into puberty. They just want space. So how do you reconnect to this kind of a kid who wants space when you want to get involved in their life? How do you even you're able to what do we call it, to be in their lives at the same time, give them space, and not lock yourself out of their life? Yeah, it is important for you to learn those aspects. How do I reconnect with this kid, at the same time I give them their own space, so that they don't feel like I'm invading their privacy, I'm invading their their personality, or maybe I'm just imposing things on them. So you need to understand those aspect of space. How can I give them space and at the same time be reconnected with them? All right, so let's talk about space to reconnect. And the other aspect of time is actually let me see. Uh, time to it's important for you to consider time in terms of age. Yeah, I can't see my slide so well from this end. I think I'll just push it a little bit. Yep. Yes, in terms of age. And I want to talk to parents who maybe have younger kids, okay, and you're thinking that my kid is too young to talk about sexuality and all that. Time and age, age is time. Sawa sawa, age is time. So when you look at their age, you might feel like, okay, my child is too young to talk about sexuality, or maybe to introduce them to this kind of world. And this is what I tell parents, or rather, this is why this program is here, to help us talk to our kids about the sexuality from a young age. Why a young age? Because when a child is innocent, that is when people take advantage of them. There are people who are out there who takes advantage of their innocence. So how do you sensitize this kid who is maybe 3 and 4 years old? And we say that our sexuality talk should begin even before the kid reaches 3 years. Yeah, you should start talking. And I've given you tips on how you can talk to your kid who is 3 and 4 years old or under. And I want to mention that, at 3, 4 years, these kids are very curious. They're very curious. They're very inquisitive. They want to see, they want to touch, they want to understand, and they want to be heard. I have one here in the house, and she's always on everything. She wants to be heard. She wants to know, explore, and all that. So how do you talk to a 3 and 4 years old kid? I've talked about the song. You remember the song, "These Are My Private Parts" song? Yeah. As they're being taught in school. Also, you know what? Sing along with them, because school gives a different perspective of things when it comes to the reality. So when you're dressing them up, when you're bathing them, sing the song. Let them understand that this thing is not just a song, but it is something that shouldn't happen. Okay, nobody should touch me here, nobody should do this to me here. Another aspect of when you're talking to a 3 to 4 years old kid, and even as you progress, it is important to tell them, let them know their safe circle. Who are the safe people around them? Who are these safe people around them? Who can they trust? If at all they're going through a kind of abuse, if at all they're going through a kind of a situation, who is this person that they can trust apart from you? What if I'm not there? And I talked about this when I was talking about children going through multiple harassment or multiple molestation without anybody knowing. We've heard of that, like a child has been raped several times and nobody has, maybe their parents have not known, or maybe the authority have not known. So have you introduced them to the safe circle? What if you're not there and something happens to them? Whom should they tell? Yeah, the safe circle. Introduce to them the safe circle. Number 3 is believe in them. Believe in them. When they tell you something, believe them. Okay, if they tell you so and so has beat me, believe them. If they tell you so and so has touched me this way and that way, believe them and assure them of their security. And another aspect is that find the right language to talk to them. Find the right language to talk to your kid. That is about the 3 and 4 years old. And I want to talk about what to say. Okay, what do you say when? Okay, I won't go into detail, but it is important for you to learn those aspects. When age, which is our time now, when age plays in, what are you supposed to say when? Okay, let me just take a cup of water, then I give you a story. Yeah. It's actually a sip of water. So I remember I think I did a video on this. A certain time, my daughter, then I think she was 6 years. Yeah. So she picked a used condom outside. I don't know. They were playing. I don't know how she landed on. So she brought it home and she went straight to the bathroom to wash it. So I was curious, like, what is that in your hand? So she told me, "Oh, mom, we picked a net," and I'm like, "A net, all right." So in the aspect, you can watch the video. Actually, I'll give you details. So the older sister was around, so she also wanted to see. And when we looked at it, I said, "Oh no, this is not a net. This is actually a condom." And I'm talking about, what do you say when? All right. So when curiosity is here. People want to know what this really is. And here I am. I need to explain to them. And also their age, their age is a factor here also. The age is also a factor. So the way I explained to my 5-year-old kid, you can watch the video. Yeah, you can watch the video. It's on my channel. The way I had to explain to the 5-year-old kid and the way I needed to explain to the 10-year-old kid, who is my daughter now, I think this other one was 6, this one was 9, around 9, was different because the 9-year-old had heard about condom in school. They had learned about it, but she had never seen it. And as normal, you know, our school system, the way theoretical it is, she couldn't connect what she is seeing now as a condom and what she has been taught in school. So definitely my explanations had to be different to favor both age group. All right, so it is important that you understand the age of your child and know what to say by when. There's a factor we are going to talk about here when it comes to age, and that is the forever baby syndrome. You know, most parents, you know, we want to assume our kids are still young, they're very innocent, there's nothing they know. My dear, look at the internet right now. Not even right now, but even a study that was done some years back, of which I'm sure right now it's not the same. I needed to check on it before I went online, but I didn't check. But you can check on it. The average child that is exposed to pornography is at the age of 8, and that is a study that was done some time back before internet became as internet as it is right now. At 8 years old, a kid has been exposed to pornography either accidentally or curious, or even have been, you know, they've just been imposed on it. So if you want to assume your child is forever young, forever child, then you will be missing it, because you would find a child is already addicted by the age they're 10, 11, 12. They're already addicted, and it's not their fault. It's because you never cautioned them. So you need to find a way to you know, remove that mentality from your mind and realize that these kids are actually growing. They are growing, and as they are growing, they are learning things, they are curious about things, and they need to get facts about things, and they need to get values about what is happening in the world around them. Yes. Yep. So I'm going to go to the next our next finding, which is time for curiosity, and there's time as a reward. And when I talk about time as curiosity, I want to talk especially to people, parents who have children who are physically challenged or mentally challenged. And I want to say this: these children, they are as curious as their counterparts. Their milestone, their growth may be slower, but they're just as curious as their counterparts. I needed to confirm if things have changed with the way they are taught about their sexuality, especially the children who are maybe under sign language, you know, the deaf, the ones who have maybe hearing impairments or something like that. I wanted to check if things have changed, but from the studies that I've done, the research that I've done over a period of time, I realized that our especially our system does not have a way of talking to them regarding their sexuality. I don't know if things have changed, but it is important for you as a parent to find a way in which you can communicate to them regarding their sexuality, because these children are as curious as their other counterparts as they grow. And remember, they're also as vulnerable as the other ones, and even more at risk. So it is important that you get to learn what language, which if they're deaf, if maybe they're blind, if they're mentally challenged in a way, find a way to, you know, drive the message home. Don't assume that, you know, they won't understand, they don't need this at this time. You're thinking, oh, maybe my child just needs to know how to walk or to learn or to be stable or to do this. This is also an aspect that they need to be groomed in. They need to understand their sexuality. They need to understand they're growing, you know, and their bodies are changing, and the feelings can come, and somebody can do this to them, can touch them inappropriately. What are they supposed to say? What are they supposed to do? You need to instill that in them, just the same way you instill the way they eat, the way they talk, the way they communicate to you when they want something. It is also good that you learn also how to instill sexuality awareness in them. All right. um in a couple of weeks, I think beginning of March, I would maybe help us to do puberty preparation talks. And I will look into a way we can also prepare our children who are maybe physically challenged or mentally challenged. Look out for that. Look out for that. I'm going to work on it. All right. So how does time become a reward? Okay. Time is a reward. Time can be either reward you positively, it can reward you negatively, and it can you can be okay. Let's talk about being rewarded positively or being rewarded negatively. And this is something that is very sensitive to most parents and to most of us. I remember when my younger sister, she was under my custody. I was living with her. I was taking care of her. And then together with my other siblings, we were working so hard to see her through school and all that. And then all of a sudden, she just didn't want school anymore. Okay. So how do you get to that? How do you handle that? You're thinking, I've given you everything, I've taken you to school, the best school I can get for you. I'm trying to provide everything that you need. And here you are, you come to a point and you're like, I don't want school anymore. Okay. And these things happen. Over a period of time, you're thinking, I've talked to my kids, I've guided them, and yes, she is. Maybe she's fallen pregnant. Yes, she is. She's become a drug addict. So maybe here she is, or here he is. He's become a thief, and so on and so forth. So now you're like, what is my reward over all this period of time? And the reward can be positive and it can be negative. Yeah. And as a parent, I think we need to embrace that aspect and understand that we are just as stewards. We're just stewards to our children. And it is our mandate to guide them. Okay. It is our mandate to guide them. I'll feel very guilty if my child will fall into a trap or into a situation that is negative because and I didn't talk to them or I didn't do my part in their life. That will make me feel very guilty. Okay. But I will comfort myself if I have done my part and I have done it in the right way. Okay. Because sometimes we do it, but we do it in the wrong way without the right skills. And instead of connecting, we are drawing apart. Instead of bringing out something positive in them, we are instilling negative things. And I've told you that most of these things come from us. Your personality, it comes from your own yourself. Sometimes it's because you've not dealt with yourself. Maybe you're living in an abusive marriage, and here you're trying to raise your kid to a kind of a person who will be able to embrace other children or respect the other gender and so on. And here you are living in an abusive marriage. So how do you work out that? How do you work out that? So when we talk about time being a reward, we need to be alert that the reward can be negative or it can be positive, and that should not hinder you from talking. Because I've heard of parents who say, oh, even if I talk, kids of nowadays, they'll just do whatever they want, and they're if you have that kind of perspective in your mind, then you won't be able to give your best. You won't be able to give your best. You need to embrace it as, what, I'm a steward. At the end of the day, my child, is a blessing from God. Is a blessing from God. So all I'm doing is to do God's work on this person, to do God's mandate on this child. Otherwise, I am praying for the best. That is all. I am praying for the best. Let not that negativity get into your mind so much that it hinders you from doing your mandate. It hinders you from talking. It hinders you from guiding them. It hinders you from maybe even looking for them a mentor to work with them. It hinders you from maybe even looking for them a counselor to talk to them and so on. Let it not hinder you from doing that, or even let it not hinder you from working on yourself. Yeah. Working on yourself is also very important. What is it that I need to do on me to be able to make my child be a better person in future? Okay. And that is when I talk about finding your purpose. And so when you find your purpose, or rather you find yourself, it it will be easier for you to guide your child also to find why are they here, why are they living, why are they going through 1 2 3. All right. And that's all when I talk about time as a reward. That's all I wanted to talk about. I had 5 tips, and so we have said that we can just recap, and we have said that we need time to heal, we need time to reconnect with our kids, we need time to look at their age and see what you're supposed to talk to them at what time, and we need time. The other factor about time is as a reward. Okay, we also need to look at the long term effect of time on our children, and we also need to consider the curiosity aspect of our children despite their milestone, despite their growth. If you have children who are growing slowly or others are growing too fast, you need to look at the way you approach them. All right. And I just want to leave you with this. And I want to tell you that, as my journey, we have these trainings that we have. We have a training that I have introduced, which is a journey to self-discovery and finding purpose. I used to do this training on teens mostly. I used to do it on teens, and normally I do it on teens, but I have come due to many requests from parents here and there. I have decided to also incorporate parents into it. So I have that training, a journey to self-discovery and finding your purpose. Then I have the training on sexuality talks with values, and then I have a mentorship program for teenagers, which we always do over the holidays. You can just always DM me or contact me and find a way to maybe register your child for those mentorship programs. Another thing that I also offer when we're doing our mentorship programs or our trainings, we can do it on one-on-one. We can do it as a group trainings, which I always love because we get to share, we get to talk, we get to learn from one another. And I can also do a training to a corporate, okay? Maybe you especially on self-discovery and finding your purpose. Maybe you have a company and you need your staff to be talked to or to be trained. I also do that, yes. And another thing about this program is that the reason why normally we say that why sexuality talks now have to have a purpose, okay, why I incorporated the purpose aspect of it is because these talks are not so easy. Okay, sexuality talk is not an easy talk at all. I'm trying to figure out how yeah, they're not an easy talk at all. And again, when you find your purpose, it is easy for you to translate the same purpose to your children and help them to be purposeful individuals. Yeah, you can translate the same to your kids. There's a way you discover yourself that you display and even get satisfaction in what you're doing to them, all right? And you don't feel like you're inadequate, or because you've already found whom you are, you've already found what can you do, you've already realized what can I delegate to be done for me, and you've already realized that this as an individual, what aspect of me or what values in me do I need to promote in my family so that my children can do what, can learn from them. And so our courses are there. Who needs them? We give our courses to a parent to be a child caregiver. We give it to teenagers, and we give it to an individual who wants to be a trainer just like me. Yes, I am ready to offer this course to you. If you want to be a trainer just like me, you are welcome to, to get on board. Yes, I will help you. I'll coach you to get on board and even begin something like this. All right. I think that's all from me for today. I hope we have been able to learn from one another. And I want to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being part of this program. I know most of you have really supported me, and you have really worked with me and encouraged me. Sometimes it's so hard, but you have encouraged me, and, I've come a long way, and I thank God for it. And I want to say that, that even for me, I got a mentor to work with me. Yeah. To work with me, to find myself, to find where I need to go, what do I need in life. I found a mentor to work with me, and several mentors, and they've worked with me all through, and they still guide me all through. So it is not wrong to get a mentor, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means that there are people who have gone ahead of you, and you just need, people to work with you so that you don't make so many mistakes as you go on. Yes, that's about it. And that's about it from me. I want to leave you with that. If you're watching this video as I'm recording, just write there a replay. And if you watch it live, thank you very much. So you can write your comments, you can ask a question, you can DM me, and we can have a chat more and more and more. So look out for our next week video. I will go live next week on Thursday. I'll go live on Facebook, and I'll be having a guest, God willing. Yes, I'll be having a guest, and we'll be talking about especially mental health when it comes to sexuality talks. Okay, so don't be left out. Please join us at 1 p.m. We'll just take one good hour during your lunchtime and join us. So may God bless you. And every Thursday, actually, we normally have it. So may God bless you so much and keep you, and prosper you, and, make you be able to be that parent who, is able to talk to their kids regarding their sexuality, so that we can raise children who are sober, okay, about their sexuality. They are sober when they're making decisions regarding love, regarding sex, regarding relationship, regarding their personality. So God bless you and have a good time. Kwaheri.